Welcome to another divinely aligned I Am reflection. I'm here again in the sun, meditating, reflecting, pausing, taking space. The question for today is, what are you showing up for? Every day we're presented with many options, many directions, many paths. We have a lot of choices in every day, and most of the time we're moving through those choices quickly on autopilot, and we're not pausing and considering what we're choosing to show up for. We're just going through the motions and responding, reacting to all of the situations in life. Today, an example was I have a limited amount of time, and with that, there was something that I really wanted to do. And doing that would have taken me out of the option of showing up here. I could have shown up in what I wanted to do and not shown up here. It also would have asked me to not show up to several of the practices that I do every morning with movement and meditation and breath and tending to my self-care. These are all parts of my practices that help prepare me for a day of coaching, working with clients and seeing people and having conversations. So the first choice that I made was choosing to show up to my self-care practice, to continue to do the meditation and stay committed to the momentum that I have created. As soon as I got into the rhythm of that, I was still clinging to the other thing that I wanted to do, and there was a moment of feeling like I was rushing to get through the practice that I was doing in order to have the time to go do the thing that I was clinging to that I felt like I really wanted to do. However, there was this moment of pause and reflection where I thought about the momentum, or I felt the momentum. And I've, for a few days, shown up live, been here up in the sun, taking a moment and coming on live. Coming on live is not something that I do often. And there's many times where I think about going live. However, I run a story and a script that I don't have anything to say. What am I going to say? I'll show up live when I have something organized that I'm going to say. So the last few days when I've come up here, the intent has not been to go live. However, in giving into the moment, in being present, there's been a message that's come through in my reflection that has then sparked a thought or a realization that I could forego the if this then scenario and just come live and roll with it, go with the flow. So I've done that, and that's created a momentum. Therefore, today, when I first made the choice to stay committed to the self-care practice, I was in the momentum that I've created, and that momentum flowed into realizing that the decision was to let go of the thing that I felt like I really wanted to do, to show up here, come live, and be present here in this space. And I wasn't necessarily committing to do a live video. However, when I sat back to do my reflection, a message or a thought or a question surfaced. What am I showing up to? And I know sometimes we go into the how am I showing up and feeling like we're not prepared or ready to show up, or we feel like there's things in our day that we have to show up for, and there likely are things in the day we have to show up for. However, there is also choice, and I think the what is more powerful than the how. So in considering, what are you showing up for? What is it that is presenting options? Or let me rephrase that. In each day, what is presenting options that you're quickly on autopilot and then making a decision to go along one route. What momentum have you been building? Is that momentum a path that you want to continue to walk along? Because if you're building momentum along a path that is not for your highest good, then it may be worth pausing, giving reflection, and changing the trajectory of where you're headed in any given moment or day. There are micro choices. There are always options through the day and how you want to go about it. So with that, I'm inviting you to consider, what are you showing up to? Are you showing up on autopilot because you feel like you have to and you don't have a choice? Or are you pausing and recognizing the choices that you have and making decisions to show up on a path that builds momentum in the direction that is for your highest good? One that feels good, one that is inspiring, one that is challenging the negative scripts that you run. So what I mean by that is, I already mentioned that sometimes I don't go live because I'm running a script that I'll show up when I have something planned and organized to share. And that script blocks me from showing up. The more that I don't show up, waiting for that perfect message to come through, the more that I reinforce, affirm that belief that I can't show up until I have something organized and worked out. So when I choose in a moment to redirect and take action of following the path of showing up here first in the sun, to meditate, to reflect, to come present, then the next choice is coming on here live and showing up, even though I did not have everything perfectly worked out before I showed up. Therefore, I'm challenging that belief that I can only show up live when I have something completely worked out and organized. This is how we change our limiting beliefs. We take action that challenges those beliefs. And the more that we take actions that challenge the belief, we start to realize that those beliefs don't serve us and that there is another belief and another way and another path that is before us. So the invitation today is to find how you can come more present into each moment, to recognize the choices that are before you and the ones that you're responding to on autopilot, where you might be able to take a different action. Sometimes it can be as simple as driving a new route. Sometimes it can be changing the way you go about something. Really, the decision here is based on, is the momentum and the path you've been taking the one that challenges the limiting beliefs and gives you an opportunity to show up, even if you don't feel prepared or ready? Or is it one that is reinforcing the unhelpful script that you are running? And if so, then in each moment, that is your opportunity to consider an alternate route. So the question again, what are you showing up for? It's a choice. Each moment you're given an opportunity to make that choice. As you move through the day, pause, reflect, get out of autopilot, create space, and make conscious choices, ones that are in alignment with your values, what is meaningful and important to you. Because if you're showing up to situations and circumstances that are not meaningful to you, eventually that's going to catch up. So when you consider what is most important to you, what it is that you're wanting to create, the feeling that you are seeking in your life, then you can make different choices. So this is just a short, quick live to come on and give you this daily reflection and opportunity to ask yourself, what are you showing up to? And are you showing up because you feel like you have to? And is what you're showing up for something that is meaningful? Or is it something that you're doing out of obligation? I will pause here for a moment. I know there are a few people who are here live with me. And if you have a question you would like to ask that is a divinely aligned, respectful, honest question, then you're welcome to post that in the comments and I will answer the question. I will not answer questions that are not authentic questions. So I'll pause a moment here and just see if any of you who are here with me in this moment do have any questions, and if so, please ask. If not, I will close down this live and allow you to go about your day considering the what are you showing up to today. Okay. So questions, I'm giving to the count of 5. If no one has any questions, I will close down this live. Before I do close down the live, I am going to ask you to take a deep breath right now. This is one of those opportunities where you can give yourself a moment to breathe. Victoria, if you would like to ask you, I see, how have you overcome? Can you share with me or maybe elaborate, how have I overcome? Is there anything in particular that you're seeking insight into about a topic of what I've overcome? Or how to overcome something? Well, here's the thing. Part of this choice is choosing what we put our attention onto. And part of my meditation practice is learning to let go of what is not aligned and not important. So I don't really see that they're messing up the chat. I just see that they are doing what they do and I'm paying it no mind. So that's an art in itself of learning to focus our attention on what is most important. And those types of comments to me are not really important or worth acknowledging. So yeah, if you do have any other questions though, I appreciate your authentic connection here. And, you know, we're given in every moment of the day, we're given a lot of opportunity for distractions, and it takes a lot of practice to learn to hold our attention and focus on a point and not allow ourselves to be distracted and pulled in all of the directions. So that is a good practice to learn how to keep our focus in a place. And it's something that we get better at over time. And it is, I coach and work with people, and when I work with people with meditation, or I bring up meditation, many times what I hear is, oh, I can't meditate, that doesn't work for me, because I sit down to meditate and I'm distracted. My mind wanders and I start thinking about all of the things. And I always respond, that's the point. The point is to gain the skill of being able to get distracted and come back, get distracted and come back. So to me, that's what meditation is. It's not about being perfectly focused all of the time. It is natural to get distracted. We are inundated with, like I said, many opportunities to move in a lot of different directions. And so that's aligned with the topic today of what are you showing up to? Because when you decide to show up in a certain way, okay, I see Victoria, thank you. I'll continue, I'll finish the comment that I'm saying. So when you find a point or something you want to show up for or show up and do, then many times that is the point where we start thinking about all the tasks and this and that, and we can easily get distracted and then not show up or show up to other things. So that's part of the conscious choice. So the original question was, how have you overcome difficult situations when you have responsibilities to focus on? Absolutely. Prioritization, responsibilities. I think this would, ask a lot of questions about the responsibilities. I can make assumptions about the responsibilities as they are necessities. There are parts of life that have to be taken care of. However, sometimes we tell ourselves we have responsibilities that are not actually ours to carry, or things that we're not actually responsible for. So I think there's a little unpacking there about what the responsibilities are and how much of a necessity they are, and how to overcome difficult situations when you have responsibilities to focus on. It's a matter of making the decision and commitment to overcome the difficult situations. That too requires a little unpacking. However, if you want to overcome difficult situations, the first choice is to say to self, I want to overcome this difficult situation. I'm going to acknowledge that it is difficult. I'm going to accept the difficulty of it, and I'm going to create space and time in my life to be able to begin to unpack the situation, discover what it's about, what my options are, and to see what the path to move through that difficult situation is. The way that we make changes to anything is first acceptance and acknowledgement. It's also to make the decision that we want to make a change in that particular area of life. So that would be the first place to start, is to weigh the responsibilities and the difficult situations. If the difficult situation is really important, it could too be a responsibility, that is to work through it. The only way is through. Some difficult situations will resolve themselves by just giving space and time. Others require some work. So if it's something that you have attempted to let go and it persists, that's sometimes a clue that there's a little bit more work there. And there's, sometimes you can do it yourself, and sometimes it's good to have support. I'm a coach and I work with people, and this is one way I work with people is, let's look at exactly this. What is the difficult situation? What are the responsibilities? What's more important? And if the difficult situation is important enough to work through, then let's begin to unpack it and see all of its edges and boundaries and textures, and find out what the resistance and the obstacles are, and then begin to work through it. So hopefully I've given you a little bit of insight here on this live to consider with your question. And, you know, with that, the just kind of being in alignment is to really, you know, look at that and then to consider your options in a day, right? What are you showing up for? Are you showing up for the responsibilities when they're not really yours to carry? And the difficult situation just continues to be a difficult situation? Or is there a way to restructure, recalibrate the focus in order to begin to make the shift and change that you're looking for? So as you move through the day today, please pause and ask yourself, what am I showing up for? And is it by choice, or am I doing this on autopilot? And give yourself an option to possibly let go of some of the things that you're clinging to and consider an alternate route, one that's maybe in more alignment and for your highest good. So if you're watching this video, I please ask you to like the video as well as consider subscribing to my channel. You know, I've said this in a few videos, but I don't really run my YouTube channel. I think the way that you know, most people run their YouTube channel. I'm spontaneous, I'm organic, and I show up when the time to show up is. And but you know, with that, I'm authentic and I'm real and I'm here, and I appreciate the subscriptions, I appreciate the likes, and I thank you for being here today and joining me in this reflection. And I'll see you again at another point in another live. Please find something in your day that you enjoy and give yourself the moment to appreciate the joy when it surfaces. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.